Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, we're going to be taking another trip back up to Minnesota to take a quick visit at the Con of the North, another little convention that has tons of events, gaming, and vendors. So let's jump on over to their tables next door and see what we have in store. When I first got to Con of the North, I have to say I was pretty lost. Granted, I did take a side door instead of the front entrance, but it's really cool in that it is a multi-level sort of convention. From what I remember, there is the sort of basement where we'll come to find a couple giant tabletop sprawling games, as well as a few kind of computer games being hosted and played on site, and as we make our way up to the first floor, a number of rooms again for playing, the main vendor hall, which probably the majority of the footage will be, and the registration table, where you'll pick up a super handy program that'll help hopefully navigate a little bit better than how I was kind of wandering around aimlessly. I did mention multi-level, so there is going to also be a second floor that had more rooms filled with RPGs and other such board games to play, but for me, I had the most fun in the vendor hall, where I got to meet a couple old friends from maybe a few videos from before, as well as a couple new ones. My favorite thing about it is the fact that it was filled with a decent number of friendly neighborhood vendors too, selling their wares that they created on their own. And that's simply just publishers. In fact, I picked up a plush D20 that I definitely don't need because it had catnip in it for a future fur baby to play with. So I'll just hold on to that one until the time is right. But we had a few artists, some local friendly game stores, and if I recall correctly, a podcast in a giant ring surrounding a number of tables for hosted plays. There was this giant race car set, I don't even know what it was for, that maybe wasn't race cars at all, but a disc flicking sort of contest, which looked pretty fun. Unfortunately, I had to leave before I could see anything, but it looked really cool, and hopefully I can pick that up at some point later. I got to play a few upcoming games by some friendly designers like Seppi of Fight in a Box, and sat down with a few other friends like Keith Mateka of Thunderworks Games, who was teaching an online friend of mine how to play his game, Skulk Hollow. Then of course we had Leader Games and Chip Theory, who was notorious for doing show-only sales. Ha ha ha. If I recall correctly, we had some jewelers who were also kind of bleeding out into the hallways outside the vendor hall, which is kind of cool to think about. And then your general open areas too, for gaming. One of the best parts of the day for me was meeting one of those online friends spontaneously after their husband overheard my name, actually, having interacted recently on Facebook. So then I got to try her game out, and from what she tells me, we offered some pretty great feedback. So hopefully that's true. Con of the North might not be the largest convention I've been to, but it definitely had a very relaxed atmosphere, which I definitely appreciated. So if you're interested in checking out a bunch of different events and whatnot, feel free to make your way over there when you can. So if you ever find yourself in the North, I think this would be a great stop for getting your role-playing on, your miniatures or war games on, some RPGs for sci-fi, and everything else that's kind of nerdy. You'll definitely get your fill. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on future content like this. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.